Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Artist 41. I know I've been gone for quite a bit, but yeah. If anybody does have any questions, just let me know and I'll answer them to my best ability. Let's see. I feel like a new drawing today. Let's do a custom. Let's do a 5x7 landscape at 600 DPI, RGB color. Let's do CMYK just so that, in case I need to print it off of anything. But yeah, I've been going sort of just thinking about my life and what I need to do to actually earn money on my own. Well, let's see. Because I love to draw, and I do like to draw for people. It's just there's only a certain amount that I will actually draw for people. Because sometimes people are just too needy and they ask for way too much. It's like, I want this revised, this revised, this revised. I'm not seeing your vision. So, yeah. Kind of just pisses me off a little bit when that happens. But I will do things for people to help them out. Oops, it's the background. My bad. I can still make it smaller, right? Convert to normal layer. I do that every so often, so yeah. Let's go and fill the back layer to white. Left layer. There we go. Alright. Normally you would not do that, but hey. And why do I draw girls? Well, because I enjoy the female figure more than the male figure. It's a lot more interesting than, well, some male figures are interesting, but I prefer females because I do like how the body looks. And besides, I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to draw. But I never really told anybody my story about how I actually started with everything. Of course, if you look at some of my previous notions of what I had, let's see. Let me see if I can bring some of that up. It's been such a long road ahead of me. Because so I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, these are just some of my pieces from high school. Of course, I love stippling. Stippling's always fun. But yeah, that's not from high school. That's from college, and more. I took a class at a winery. I have a better picture. There we go. There's the dog picture that I have done in the past. He's nice and fluffy. But now but yeah, I've been doing artwork for quite a long time. It's just so many things throughout the years. Yeah, we all have bad pictures, and yeah, and my structure of how I have things is strange in itself. But yeah, I've I've been drawing since I've been in kindergarten. Of course, at first my drawings didn't really mean much of anything, because I was drawing Pokemon, Pikachu, all that stuff. That that is something that I've always had interest in Pokemon. It has always been an interest to me. Also Sims and um, any form of simulation, all that stuff. Should I make her sad? Yeah, might as well. It's angry, sad. They're so close together. It's I'm I'm one to really just emphasize the emotion, because I really love to show people's emotion. No, there we go. But yeah. The thing is, I've been through a lot of sadness throughout my whole entire life. That is something that I've always gone through. Been having to fight with people through my family, trying to make people understand who I actually am. Because sometimes I don't even know. But yeah, no, I'm I'm more of a wacky person in its entirety. I love to party and all that stuff, but thing is, I can't afford that life. That would be a great life to basically party practically every single night, but no, I don't have the time. Well, I have the time now. I actually quit my regular job just to pursue my dreams. And most people would say, that's insane. Why would you do that? And I would say it back to them. I wish I did it sooner, but but yeah, that's something that I normally would not say out loud. But I've been hiding this facade for so long. It's been agonizing. Of course, I started drifting off of how I became an artist, but it's all part of the same goal, isn't it? You go through sadness, you go through pain, you go through agony. The life of an artist, right? But no, it is what this life is. It brings you to a little bit of a halt. I do wish people would question me, but I'm glad they don't. It makes my life a little bit easier trying not to focus too hard on what I really want to do. And the thing is, what I'm going to do with all my digital art from now on is I'm actually going to post it. I'm going to post a lot of this regularly, because why not? I now have the time to just focus on myself, to be what I wish to be all those many years ago. But, of course, I still have to monitorize what I draw, because I do love drawing things in the nude for women. I just love the curves. And of course, in my room I do have them printed out and just staring at me every time I draw. But they just remind me of my future. They're not really something that I look lewdly at or anything like that. And people tend to think that. It just makes me sad of people's ideals and thinking that just the nude image is bad. As long as it doesn't look sexual or anything like that, there are some of those of mine that I don't show to anybody because they would be disgusted by it. Sad that they can't really see the light, but I draw them anyway because it is a part of me. And wouldn't you draw something that's just part of you? Oh. I have had a hard time sort of dealing with myself and dealing with others to see me the way that I want them to see me. But that's not the way to live a life. It's a way to really make it more painful and all that. I'm gonna add a background to this. I don't know what. May put her off to the right, left. It really just depends. Let's see. Right, left. She looks better on the right, because then you don't know exactly what she's looking at. And I can always draw another character behind her too. But let's continue with this. But I've always been interested in cryptocurrency and all that too. That is more of a hobby because I haven't had really success with cryptocurrency just because everything in it fluctuates to an extent that is beyond my control. And even though I can predict it and all the ups and downs of it, I would need more money and all that to just to even earn anything from it. At least have my mom that supports me a lot more than my father, but he's more of a sore subject to me. I do respect him and all that, but there are some things that I can't really tell people just straight up because they will not understand quite as much as I wish them to. And it's always been my choice to leave and do my own stuff for, well, ever since I was little. It has always been my dream. And that is not something that someone really sees very clearly. And when someone tries to push me towards my goal, I don't like it. It 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 just feels wrong. But yeah, I've been having to deal with that for years. And of course, I don't really care who listens to this stream or anything like that. I don't mind people hearing my true feelings, because I've been keeping them bottled up for the last, I don't really know how long. It's just been quite a long time. I know there are people out there that feel the same way. And of course, I have had suicidal thoughts at one point in my life. That that is something that has always been on my mind. But thing is, God saved me. And of course, not very many people believe in God. I understand that, but everyone has their own beliefs. I do wish they would believe in him, because he does exist. It's really hard to prove that he exists, even though there's so much proof that is undeniable. It's just, I don't like forcing people into that situation. It is not really the right thing to do. I want them to understand it more than just go into it blindly. It's one of my really annoyances there. But, yeah. But everyone has their own feelings towards the subject of what they feel, what they desire. My desire is to be free, not really of this world. I particularly do not like money in the sense of what it is, because no, that didn't work either. Because what money is more of the government keeping control of who you are in some way or another. But yeah, many different things can be accomplished through money. And I just have enough to survive for a little bit before I actually do have to continue working and all that. And my goal has always been this way, to be self-sufficient upon my own desire. To paint portraits of I can paint portraits of people's dogs, people's cats, people's foxes. Sometimes, if it's my first time painting it, it does take me a little bit of time to get used to it. But after the first time, it won't be as long, but it'll be to some sort of extent. There we go, that looks better. Still need to fix the arms, they still look a little bit muscly. But, yeah. 4 viewers, or no, it's just one. But, yeah, so much of a desire of doing many different things. I don't think people quite understand the desires of others. Because the way I see the world they're all trapped inside a cage, waiting for the day that someone will let them free. And their cage is only getting smaller as the days progress. They may not notice it now, but it eventually creeps up on them. It does that to people. It is one of the things that life tends to do to people that I don't think they quite realize. Not when they're in the moment. Up there. But yeah. I've looked at this world through an objective shadow, and that's not right either. Everyone has their own way of seeing this world. It's not just black and white, it has shades of gray. Let's see. Alright, let's continue. And I know people tend to look forward. But let me get to the songs. Let's see, sound bites. Well, the thing is, I do enjoy people's company and all that. But let's get back to where I actually started to draw and all that. All that jazz. Well, the thing is, I started drawing in kindergarten, as I've already mentioned. It's more green than brown. That's my eyes. But I started drawing in kindergarten, and during kindergarten, I kept drawing and drawing. That's mostly how it is. But I never stopped drawing. It became more of an obsession to me, and in a certain sense. But my desire took hold, and I never looked back. But as I drew out my feelings and all that. Feelings that I never really showed anybody. But the thing is, how did I start drawing? What I remember is of one day, because I had really bad eyesight when I was little. So, before I even had glasses or anything like that, I was up to the TV like any kid who was basically blind to see. And I truly was astonished by the shapes that I saw. Of course, it would not surprise anybody, but the thing is, when you have not even seen colors before, well, haven't seen trees or anything like that, you tend to actually be very impressed and amazed by them. The detail, the definition, the colors, the vibrancy. All before I could only see really shapes. But that was the moment that really changed it for me. I am slightly colorblind, of course, but that's another issue I'm trying to deal with. That's one issue that I can still go around because no one uses the colors that I can't see, and I can see everything mostly normally. So, kind of funny how that worked out, but I'm glad it did. It's one of the things that it's like I'm colorblind, but just enough to where I can see the slight changes. But those people who are blind, sometimes they're the best musicians because they can't see anything. Or people who can see colors. I find that fascinating in itself. But let's get back to the topic at hand. I myself didn't really see as a child, but when I received the classes, it opened a new world to me. A world that I've never really seen before. Shapes, colors, all that stuff, and more. Definition defined by those shapes. Not really anybody could explain it to me because I don't think they quite understood that either. But it is something that has always stuck to me ever since I was little and all that. But yeah, I could never forget it. And I really shouldn't, but it's more something that I can't really explain to others very well because, well, I am explaining it to others. um, what I mean is, I just can't explain the true sincerity of it. Because not everybody will be able to understand that colors are magnificent in their own right. But you kind of have to understand that this world is not as black and white as what others make it. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. Okay. But yeah, but I went through high school, went through college, did all the normal stuff that a normal person would do. Of course, it did not really satisfy me. Because after college and high school and even grade school, I was brought with more sadness than I truly had before. It's like, ah, well, that's life for you. But I really didn't want to break the connections that I had. And the friends that I lost. There was one friend that I knew very well. Of course, he came out and said that he was actually gay, and gay in the sense of he likes men. But to me, I already knew. It's like I wasn't even surprised by it. It's like it's like, yeah, so your point is it didn't even faze me because I knew him so well that I understood it was his decision to be what he wanted to be. So, and his sister also turned out to be gay as well. And of course, their family was distraught for quite a long time. It is not something that anyone would have thought or even mentioned about. But of course, they're hanging out with each other now. The thing is, it was a big hurdle for them. Because it's not the norm. The thing is, I prefer women, but if there is a guy out there, I would, but not at this point in my life. I don't mind any different type of sex. To me, they all have their benefits. And, of course, if you love them, it's like you should cherish them. But, of course, the more I say, the more people would ostracize me. But I prefer women, of course. Multiple women if possible, but this world doesn't like that. But I feel like that's pretty much every guy's fantasy to have multiple women. But I would just like to be surrounded by multiple women. I don't care if I'm dating them or not. To me, I prefer women over men when talking to others. But it's mostly how I was raised. But I'm more of a nut than anybody else. But yeah, I do like talking to people. It's just been a long time. I've been isolated, and I've isolated myself in a way that kind of defeats the purpose of me meeting new people and enjoying their company. But that's just life. Life tends to send over curveballs of many extremities that, well, tend to just not work in a very unusual way. But I know one person viewed my content. I may have scared them away. Let's see. One viewer. Who was it? I'm curious. But that's fine. Of course, people just go around streams and just wondering. Of course, if people really want to listen to any of my streams of anything that I say, it's fine. I don't mind. But I just feel like everybody's tortured in their life in some way or another. But to me, society is broken. It has been broken for quite a long time. I just want to fix it, to make it whole again. But that's more of my decision of wanting things that I don't think people really realize. But if people knew my truth, they would understand that this world is quite different than what they really want it to be. And the many different positive outlooks of life, they're there. It's just one of the things that tends to vanish when they realize it hasn't been there for very long. It's a nasty one that came out, but But my sense of morality is very unusual to people. And I don't think people will quite like it if I spout things way too willy-nilly. And yes, willy-nilly is a long word. Well, not a long word, just something that's not used as much as it used to be. With good reason, though. There's always good reason to that. The thing is, I choose my battles very carefully. Because if I don't, well, people tend to take offense on it. And I really don't like having the offense being pushed towards me too much. Oops, way too big. A little smaller. And the reason why I'm using Photoshop is because it's a lot easier to deal with than just something so absurdly just hard to deal with. Well, there are other programs that work just fine. It's just... Let's see. No. Still need some shadows. Of course, I'm just using a soft brush for a lot of this. And many people would understand that a lot of things in the digital space, they just have a slight appearance of a dissonance to them. Hardness 0. I'm gonna just do this real quick, mostly because I need to do a little bit of editing here. Of course. Here's sometimes where everything that I have just goes outside the boundaries of what I want it to. There we go. But of course I could use masks and all that, but what fun would that be? Sorry, I'm a nut. No, not there. Then we get the eraser. And we also just flow a little bit. Back to brush. Too big though. Edit, redo eraser. Now make it smaller. Gonna make it a little bit darker though, because it's taking way too much of the color out of it. Just a tiny bit for the nose though. Oops. Then the eye. Of course the eye's not done because I didn't really do the iris too much. forgot to make those separate. I'll do that later. Don't need that there, I need that less soft too. That actually has a better effect on it, but I'm going for a little bit more of this. And then opacity on this. A little bit of blue, a little bit of softness, about 50% softness. No, that doesn't work. More or less, really. It's like I could do that, but no. I'd give her a different effect. Don't want that. Just gonna add a little bit of blue in there. Just to give that a little bit of ambiguity. Of course, I'm only doing a little bit of this today. I'm not going to finish her off. But the thing is, to do this right, without, yeah. Kind of have to understand all that. Alright, and now go back to the eye. So let's go to the eye and put in a deeper blue. Brush that. Size needs to be smaller, more precise. Hardness needs to be 100% though. That needs to be off. And the reason why I do my eyes this way is because I saw the muscles and I could never go back to seeing eyes any other way. But yeah, and I just do it overlapping each other because, well, the overlapping of colors is usually what our eyes really see in its uncertainty of things. Of course, when we see lighter colors and darker colors, they're only forms of the same color anyway. But everybody has a different way of seeing anything. I just wanted to see it in a way that shows only the hardest parts, what people don't want to see. The bigger the eyes, not always the best, but they get the point across quite well. I'm actually just gonna stop there because that's truly where I wanted to end. And we'll continue this next time. But I will be starting today. This will be my normal time of when I do it. I'll be doing this from 7:30, well, not 7:30, but 9:30 standard and, well, Central Standard Time within, well, the US, of course, but yeah. But yeah, I'll be doing this every day. I'll be talking, I'll be drawing, I'll be doing what I truly wanted. And I'll finally, and I mean finally, be happy. To some extent, at least. I'm still waiting for the other part. But everything takes time, and this is just the first step that I need to take in order to actually move forward. But for those who did join me, well, for the one that did join me, thank you. But I do appreciate if there are more people. It'd be nice. But I'll be posting on Twitter. I'll be posting on Instagram. I'll be painting more. I'll be doing paintings, not just digital stuff. I actually have a room for art, and I'll be painting more. I'll put out those videos too. Those videos will take longer, and those are the ones that I'll be working on during the day. So if anybody has any questions of what I'm going to be doing, and if anybody wants to actually have any of their pets painted or any landscapes, that includes houses too. I can do that for those. It will take me some time to get those finished, even though it may seem like it doesn't take that much time at all. Sometimes I have to actually think about it, and it'll move forward from there. But if you do keep contacting with me, I will lay down some rules and regulations and all that stuff. But I'll be doing people's artwork and all that. If people want their pets painted, I will paint those pets. It's just, if you don't, then that's fine. But I just want to do what I can, and everything that I do it's just going to help me survive and in the journey that I actually wish to go towards. And of course, any payment that has been issued will have to be paid up front. And I can sketch out whatever you want me to sketch out so that I will do it for you. You just have to believe, and I'll get it done. I can only do up to 7 paintings per week, and it sometimes takes me 3 to 5 days to actually finish all those paintings. But if you live near me, I will drive to your house to deliver it directly to you. Uh, if if you don't, I will ship it to you, and the shipping will actually be included inside the cost. Well, a standard shipping amount, even though it may not be exact. Um, I will still find out what the shipping is before I send you any sort of invoice if you live anywhere else other than near me. But if you live within the state of Texas, and I mean anywhere in the state of Texas, I will still drive it to you. And I will deliver it to you in hand. But if you live outside the state of Texas, I will not, I'll send it to you. Of course, any time I drive or send it to anybody, it will be part of the price. And I'm still thinking about what that would be, and it will be a standard price for both, either shipping or if I drive it to them. You just have to specify that, either with an email or anything else. But I would need payment up front in order for me to actually start. At least half or 25% of the payment. And if you want caricatures or digital stuff, I will do that too. If you need it printed, I'll actually get that set up as well. So, I hope everybody supports my endeavors, and I will get my Patreon and all that settled. I do have my website, Timothy J. Pritchett Pritchett portfolio.info, and I will be editing that website as well, just to make sure that it's up to date and everything is in working order. And if anybody needs things converted from old media like digital tapes, floppy drives, or just to get data off, I do that too. I'm still trying to work on the photos and slides. I still need a machine to receive that, to actually get that working. But I can get all the data off and put it onto a hard drive. Would probably be the best thing to put it on. Or if you want it on a flash drive, that works too. But I tend to have issues with flash drives. But if I even do zip drives and all that. But if anybody has any questions or anything, you can always contact me through any of my handles, through YouTube, through Twitter, through Instagram, or even through my email. artificiosivitae@gmail.com. Well, I think I've spilled out enough guts of myself today, but I hope to see you guys next time on Tech Artist 41. And hope you guys have a good night, or good morning, depending on where you're at in the world. I don't really know, but thanks for joining me today.